Welcome to All Things Moore County, Moore County's weekly radio show highlighting the many facets of the Sandhills. That includes real estate, lifestyle, community and neighborhoods. And now from 4 Properties, here's your host, Bill Sahadi.
Good morning and welcome to the talk show All Things Moore County. Dorothy, it seems like every week now, as we're into September, we have a lot of events coming up that we continually try to focus on. And I think we have 3 or 4 shows.
We've got a busy schedule coming up.
Yeah, we have a very big, well, there's a lot going on in Moore County, and it's like Labor Day kicks off a lot of activity that we don't always have in the summertime.
Yep.
Tomorrow evening, there is a concert with Peter Lamb and the Wolves. It's being presented by Vision for More.
Okay.
And Vision for More has been an organization that I think a lot of people may know for all the tribute concerts that they've done in the area in conjunction with Cooper Ford. And we're being joined by Pam Partis, who has been on the show a couple of years ago. And Pam, the show tomorrow, Peter Lamb and the Wolves, is a concert that is going to benefit the Linden Lodge.
That's right.
You have 4 or 5 different organizations that you work with where proceeds from the events, you earmark different events for different organizations.
That's right. Each year, and next year will be in our 10th year.
That's
for
crazy.
Vision for More. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And each year we provide an application that any and all nonprofits in Moore County are welcome to complete, and then we match a different nonprofit up with each event that we host.
Okay, so that's sort of like what the United Way does. They receive applications. So what's the litmus test that you use when you're selecting the organizations that Vision for More will partner with? How does that work?
Well, that's a great question, because each year we do our best to help those who help others. That's our motto. And a lot of the smaller nonprofits don't really have anyone dedicated to organizing fundraising events. So we try to partner with those who are doing the work but don't necessarily have the funds, right? Because Vision for More funds the event, pays for everything, signs all the contracts up front, and then we organize everything. So really all our partners have to do is post flyers, provide the volunteers, and help sell tickets. So we try to partner with those possibly smaller nonprofits that really can benefit from our skill set.
So, I want to talk about the concert that's going to happen tomorrow night at the Fair Barn. But before we do, can you talk a little bit about the organizations that you're partnering with now, currently?
Sure. So as we mentioned, each event benefits a different nonprofit. And you may remember back in April, we hosted the Journey Tribute Band. And at the airport, which was phenomenal. And that event benefited 2 local nonprofits, the Moore County Citizens Pet Responsibility Committee and the Spay Neuter Clinic of the Sandhills. This event tomorrow night, Peter Lamb and the Wolves, will benefit the Linden Lodge Foundation. And again, this is one of those nonprofits that many people may not be familiar with. So our role is not only to hopefully give them a big check at the end of the night, but to create an awareness about who they are and what they do.
The Linden Lodge, tell me a little bit about what they do, the foundation.
Well, we've partnered with the Linden Lodge before, and for anyone who knows Mary Ann Kernan, you know that she is a force of nature and just the most wonderful person to work with. They do something for our community that I just find amazing and wasn't even aware that there was a need for or was occurring. And I spoke with Mary Ann yesterday to make sure I got the phrasing right. And they provide, I love how she explains it, a safe haven and a place to thrive for those diagnosed with a serious mental illness in our community. And anybody driving around Moore County now you can't help but see these people out on the streets asking, and it just breaks your heart. And the Linden Lodge is a home, and it provides a home for 6 residents. And these residents give back to our community as well. They are out volunteering and working, and they'll be at the event helping us out there.
Okay.
So please come out and meet them, learn more about what the Linden Lodge Foundation does.
Okay. How many events do you do a year?
This year was a little unique because of the U.S. Open.
Right.
So we didn't do the typical 4
Right.
events. So we've ended up with 3, and we'll wrap up next month with our final event with bringing back Paperhand puppet intervention.
Okay. So tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock at the Fair Barn, you've got Peter Lamb and the Wolves, and they are a jazz band.
Yes.
And in your ad, you talk about imagine a scene straight out of a Bette Davis film.
So this all came about during COVID.
Uh-huh.
And for whatever reason, I started watching these old movies, and I got focused on Bette Davis. I just loved her attitude. And in about every movie that I watched, she went into this nightclub, and they had a jazz band, tablecloths, candles on the table, and a dance floor. Mm-hmm. And it just looked like so much fun, and I thought, we can do that. So we do our best to recreate that at the Fair Barn.
Yeah. Dorothy, you know, it's funny. We opened the radio show with Bette Davis Eyes.
Yes, we do.
That's the theme song that we use. We've been using it now for, what, 3 or 4 years?
Something like that, yeah.
We've switched up a couple, but I just like the beat of it. And Kim Carnes is the performer. But it does have a jazzy feel to it. You also have a... The event starts at 7 o'clock, but you have an opening act, Miah and Daniel, at 6 o'clock, and there's a story behind them.
Yes, each year we do our best to feature local talent before our events, and we've had quite a few people perform. For this event tomorrow night, we have Daniel and Miah, and I first heard them over at Red's Corner. They were performing and was just blown away.
Right.
They have so much fun together. She's got a beautiful voice, and they've agreed to open for us. So the concept is show up at 6 when the doors open, grab some food from the food truck. Grill Me Up will be there serving starting at 6.
Okay. We'll
have picnic tables outside, or you're welcome to bring the food inside and get settled and relax.
Nice. And it's warmed up this week, which started off cool, so you're going to have some great weather for tomorrow. But it's an indoor event. But
it is indoor, yes, so I can relax a little bit.
I think so. I think so. So tickets are $27 in advance and $35 at the door.
Correct.
And then there's a student price of $12 per student. And if you're under 12, it would be free. So Vision for More started, was it 10 years ago? And what was the impetus behind Vision for More for people who don't know?
Well, it all began with Bob Bailey.
Right.
And I'm sorry to say that he passed away in 2017. But Bob was someone who was very kind and generous and wanted to help those who help others.
Right.
So he and I somehow ended up together and were chatting about how to do that. And in Moore County, you've lived several places, we have as well. I've never lived any place where there are so many nonprofits trying to help people.
Right.
So we said, those are the people we want to support.
Right.
We want to help the nonprofits. Well, how do you do that? And anybody that knows me knows I'm an organizer, right? And Bob was a schmoozer. Mm-hmm. So we decided he'd go out and talk to people and see what donations he could get, and I would organize events. And really the idea is to do everything and just have the nonprofits show up. So we don't take away from their daily chores. They continue doing what they're doing. And I'm pleased to say that although Bob's no longer with us, Chris Jordan took over in the role of chairman, and we have carried on. And Bob's vision. And the reason we use the word vision is because Bob truly had a vision of making things better in Moore County. And I'm grateful for that title, for the name. However, we do often get phone calls for people wanting to know if we can help them with eyeglasses.
Oh, is that right?
So yes, but the vision truly is having a vision to help those who help others and to make a difference. And Vision for More consists of 3 board members. So it's myself, Chris Jordan, and Marianne Brown, our treasurer.
Wow.
So it's pretty amazing that we can pull this off with the help of our partners for each event.
In the 15 years that we've done the radio show, it's amazing to me how many nonprofits we've had on the show. I think at last count there were over 900 nonprofit organizations in Moore County. So everybody that comes on, they all have this this kind of like this underbelly of wanting to pay it forward and doing what's good for the county. But the challenge is, how do you get your voice out there above all others when you're fundraising? They never taught us that in college. There was never a class. So you have to think outside the box a lot to keep your name out there, and you've got to be consistent doing it.
Yes, you do. It takes a lot of work. It's a big effort, and especially now in our community, there are so many different ways to reach people.
Right.
As you know, in the north, in Robbins and High Falls, that's a whole nother world that you have to reach out to because they don't get the same information that we get here
in Southern
Moore County.
Right.
Yes. So it really takes quite a bit of time and effort, and social media is just amazing with how quickly you can get the word out. But people have to know you exist to find you.
We have so many organizations who come on, and some of them have a good infrastructure where they have a system, an operational system. Others don't, and they're trying to reach out, and they use social media as an equalizer.
Yes.
And it can help, but if you don't have the infrastructure, it's kind of hard to take off. But I think Vision for More, people will know the name, and if they associate you with anything, it's the litany of tribute concerts that you've done throughout the years. And so there's like a brand identity.
And Aaron Cooper at Cooper Ford has just been the most amazing partner.
Right.
And Aaron got involved. He became a sponsor one year. And after that, he called me and he said, I want you to produce a concert series for us.
Right.
And this next year will be our 5th or 6th year, I'll have to double check, of partnering with them. And they're just amazing people to work with. We are very, very fortunate to have such amazing partners.
You came from California. When did you move here?
2005.
Okay. And looking back, what was the reason you picked the Southern Moore County area to live? Because you've created a name for yourself here through the work that you do. How did you come to pick Pinehurst, Southern Pines area?
Well, Bill, I don't like cold weather.
Right. Right.
And we were looking for some place. The idea was to move. My husband and I met in New York City.
Right.
And then moved to California, and then decided to come back to be closer. The concept was to go to Europe more frequently. Unfortunately, that hasn't occurred because we got involved with pets and animals and kind of got ourselves tied down with that. But we want it to be somewhere near a big city, someplace with nice weather.
Right.
Someplace that has things to do.
Right.
Good medical.
Right.
And certainly, even today, when you look around, Moore County fits all of that criteria.
It does. We're going to come back in the second set. We're going to talk a little bit more about Vision for More and the upcoming concert tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. at the Fair Barn, Peter Lamb and the Wolves. This is All Things Moore County. Welcome back to our second set of All Things Moore County. We're speaking with Pam Partis, and and Vision for More. Tomorrow evening, they're presenting Peter Lamb and the Wolves, and it's part of their concert series, of which they do about 4 a year, and it's going to be at 7 p.m. tomorrow evening, Sunday, at the Fair Barn, and there will be a local opening act of Miah and Daniel at 6. Proceeds from the event will be benefiting the Linden Lodge Foundation, which does a lot of good work in the county. And Pam, I get the impression that the partners that you have signed up with, they all do good work in the county for one reason or another.
They really do.
Right.
Everybody does good work, and there are so many people in need. It's just amazing how it carries on.
Yeah, Southern Moore County is one entity, and like you alluded to in the first set, the northern part of the county is almost like it's like a different world.
It is.
Right.
It's beautiful up there.
Right.
Yes.
But it's everyone thinks of Moore County as Pinehurst, Southern Pines, and but they don't think that there is as much of a need in Moore County as truly there is.
It's true. When Bob and I first started Vision for More, and we started investigating different nonprofits, and he felt very strongly about supporting veterans. And you start talking to the veterans organizations, and there are so many of them living out in the woods that you wouldn't know they were there. And to try to help them is very, very difficult and challenging.
Yeah. The thing that's so impressive about Moore County is that, opposed to perhaps an urban area, an organization like Vision for More can get a real foothold in the area in a very short period of time through social media, through the fact that it's a networking community, and it's still a small community, even though we have a lot of growth. And you've probably met a ton of people through your 10-year relationship.
Yes, it's interesting, the people that you meet and the passion that they share. And my husband always tells people that here in Moore County, you can actually make a difference. You can have an idea, you can have a passion, and you can actually make something happen. And there aren't too many communities where that's possible.
I moved here in 1999 from Atlanta, and Atlanta had no soul. And it was just an urban concrete jungle. Mm-hmm. And there was so much stuff being thrown at you all the time that nothing stuck.
Right.
Here, they refer to this as a micropolitan area, which means we have all the benefits of a larger city, but still the great things about a small village and a small town. And it's very intimate.
It is, and there are no 6 degrees of separation here. I think it's 3, if that many.
Yeah. Tell me, where are Peter Lamb and the Wolves? Where are they from? Are they from North Carolina?
Yes, they're based out of Raleigh.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, and we used to drive up to hear them. They would play frequently at the Museum of Art.
Okay.
And we would drive up there, and you could have a glass of wine and sit and relax and listen to them until the singles group for Raleigh declared the Museum of Art as their meeting place. So the last time we went, you walk in the door and everybody has name tags on, and everybody's talking to each other, trying to meet another person, and we couldn't hear the band.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, it was hysterical. And they've come down to play. Each one of the musicians in the band loves their instrument so much that they actually teach. So Peter Lamb teaches the saxophone. So they get together as a band. They create their own music. They do private parties. They used to play at, oh my gosh, I can't think. It's a restaurant that shut down after COVID that didn't come back in Raleigh. But they're very well known in the Raleigh area.
Did you recruit them for this event?
Absolutely.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Well, I try to bring, I'm a little bit biased, and I bring the groups that we enjoy.
Right.
So Yeah, we're very fortunate to have them come down, and they've played at the Rooster's Wife when that was around. And actually, Janet from the Rooster's Wife will be joining us. She's coming in to hear them. Yes.
Oh, wow.
And they played, I think, last year over at the Come Sunday series for Weymouth. So they're definitely a local favorite and just a lot of fun. As I said, there's going to be a dance floor, and they're going to be playing all kinds of music. And we want everybody to get out there and enjoy themselves.
Yeah. As we get into the holiday season, and just by virtue of all the shows we have scheduled, there are so many events coming up. So the challenge is to get your voice heard above all others. But you do as good a job as anybody in terms of people associating Vision for More with the concert series.
Well, thank you.
Do you? So it begs a question. After this event tomorrow, what's the next event that you're working on? Because I'm sure you're already starting to do that.
Yes. Well, I'm working on next year's schedule as well. And we're going to close out 2024 with on Sunday, October 27th at 2 o'clock at the R.E. Lee Auditorium at Pinecrest High School. And we will bring down another favorite of mine, which I'm not sure how many people are familiar with, Paperhand Puppet Intervention. And Paperhand Puppet Intervention has been around, again, in the Raleigh area for 25 years. And it's a partnership between two gentlemen from Oregon who moved to the area, and they go out, they're very creative. I'm so envious. I would never come up with this. They go out and they get recycled materials, and they make these puppets. Now, the problem I have in marketing this event is when you say puppets, people think of little marionette puppets or hand puppets. These couldn't be any farther from that. Think Lion King puppets. Think 20 or 30 foot tall puppets.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like something you don't see. And they have a whole season up in Raleigh where they perform. They also perform at the Museum of Art and amphitheaters all over, and they tell a story. And each year they create different creatures. And we hosted them last year at the Fair Barn, and we sold out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. And this year we've moved it to the auditorium because it's a much higher ceiling. And at the end of it, they let everybody touch the puppets.
So the puppets denote small. These are more like figurines?
Yeah, I don't even know how a puppet could take 4 people to manipulate. You could have 4 people with poles moving it around.
Oh, okay.
You could have a giant butterfly.
Okay.
You could have a fox. It's for an hour, everybody becomes a kid again.
Mesmerized.
Yeah, it's just fun. I had so much fun last year just watching the expression, and it's very interactive. They run through the crowd. Like I said, you get to come and touch the puppets, and that event will benefit the Sandhills Coalition for Human Care.
Okay. And that is on Sunday evening, October 27th?
Sunday afternoon.
Sunday afternoon.
At 2 o'clock.
Okay.
Yes.
So that will fill up the balance of your autumn season for sure.
Yes, sir.
If people need more information for tickets for Peter Lamb and the Wolves tomorrow night at the Fair Barn, where should they go? What should they do?
Well, you can always call me at 910-365-9890. Visit our website, moreasinmorecounty.com, and you can purchase tickets there. You can also, for those people who want to pay by check, you can visit Cooper Ford in Carthage, and they'll be happy to accept a check from you.
Wonderful. I appreciate you coming on. I wish you the best of luck with the event, and I'm sure we're going to hear more from you down the road. Vision for More does great work in Moore County, and I applaud what 10 years of work has created. You've built something that's not going to go away.
And we appreciate all you do to help get the word out and keep us current on what's happening.
We'll we'll probably see you down the road again. But tomorrow night, Sunday, September the 15th at 7 p.m. at the Fair Barn, come and see Peter Lamb and the Wolves, and the opening act of two local area talent, Miah and Daniel, at 6 p.m. And the proceeds from the event, some proceeds from the event, will benefit the Linden Lodge Foundation. Thanks for coming in, Pam.
Thanks, Bill.
We'll be back in the third set. This is All Things Moore County.